For a lot of us, it started on a morning just like this. A big flat box. A picture on the lid of two cars frozen mid-race, and inside, a coil of gray track, a couple of tiny cars, and two controllers that felt like the keys to the universe. We snapped the track together on the living room floor. We breathed in that smell, warm electric motors and fresh plastic. And for one perfect afternoon, we were race car drivers. This is the story of the little machines that made it happen, and the quiet engineering genius hiding inside them. So how does something this small actually move? Turn one over and the magic is all right there on the bottom. And that motor was a marvel of packaging. To fit inside a car barely 2 inches long, engineers laid the whole thing down flat, a design nicknamed the pancake motor. It let a full working electric drivetrain disappear under a plastic body the size of your thumb. You controlled all of it with the trigger in your hand, really just a clever variable resistor. Squeeze harder, more power flows, the car flies, ease off. And here's where it got hard, because in the early days, the only thing holding that car to the track was gravity. Take a corner too fast and physics won. The car de-slotted, launched right off the rails, and skittered under the couch. Winning wasn't about flooring it. It was about finesse, feathering the throttle, learning every curve by feel. That skill was the whole game. In the 1960s, slot racing was huge and public. All across America, commercial raceways opened their doors, long banked professional tracks where hobbyists rented lanes and raced big quarter-scale cars shoulder to shoulder. For a few years, it was a genuine craze. And then, almost as fast as it rose, the raceway boom faded. By the end of the decade, most of those storefront tracks had gone quiet. But the hobby didn't die. It just came home. It shrank down to a scale small enough to live on a bedroom floor, and one company had been quietly building exactly that: Aurora. Back in 1960, they'd launched a home system called model motoring in tiny HO scale, small enough that it started life-sharing space with model train sets. Their little Thunderjet cars, powered by that flat pancake motor, became a runaway hit. By 1965, Aurora had sold more than 25 million HO slot cars. The living room, it turned out, was the real racetrack, and the 1970s would be its golden age. In 1971, Aurora fired the first shot of the new decade. They called it AFX, Aurora Factory Experimental. These were faster, sleeker, hungrier machines, and the message was simple: the old cars couldn't keep up. But the real breakthrough came a few years later, around 1974 and 75, and it changed everything about how these cars drove. Aurora called it Magna Traction. The idea was beautifully simple. Build small magnets right into the chassis and let them pull the car down onto the steel rails. Suddenly, the car wasn't held down by weight or gravity. It was held down by magnetism. And magnetism doesn't let go in a corner. Cars could now rip through turns that used to send them flying. Lap times tumbled, and the frustration of the constant D-slot gave way to something faster and more forgiving. Then, in 1976, came the masterstroke, the G-Plus chassis, Gravity Plus. Engineers turned the motor on its side so its magnets sat right above the rails, for even more downforce. It was, in effect, ground effects aerodynamics, the same principle real race cars were chasing that very decade, recreated in something you could hold in your palm. And because the chassis rode so low, the bodies could finally look like the real thing. Aurora didn't have the floor to itself. Its fiercest rival was Tyco, and Tyco built its whole reputation on one thing: speed. Their motors were quick and loud, and kids swore by them. Tyco chased every edge, working headlights that actually lit up as the car raced. Then glow-in-the-dark cars for racing with the lights off, and a steady march of better chassis, the Curve Hugger, the HP series, each one a little wider and more planted than the last, hunting for that perfect balance of grip and pace. Aurora versus Tyco became a genuine arms race, fought season after season on toy store shelves. And every round of that rivalry pushed the engineering forward. Faster motors, stronger magnets, smarter chassis. The kids racing on the carpet were the real winners. But the boldest idea of the decade came from a third player, and it did the unthinkable. In 1977, the Ideal Toy Company asked a wild question. What if you got rid of the slot altogether? They called it TCR, Total Control Racing. Instead of a single guiding slot, the track had metal strips running down 2 open lanes. Flip a switch on your controller and your car would actually change lanes, pull out, pass, and slide back in front of your rival. For the first time, you could overtake. Real racing. And to make it interesting, every set came with a jam car, a slow-moving drone with no driver, wandering the track like a rolling roadblock. Dodge it or crash. Suddenly, the track had traffic. It wasn't perfect. The early power packs were a little weak, and if you didn't time your lane change just right, the car would stall out, stranded between lanes. But the ambition was breathtaking. Ideal had shown the whole industry what came next. So completely that its designs outlived the company itself, carried on for decades by other makers. By the 1980s, the world moved on to video games, and the little cars were boxed up and pushed into the backs of closets. But look closely at what those engineers pulled off. A complete electric drivetrain the size of a thumb. Magnetic downforce and ground effects in miniature, sometimes before the real racing world had fully embraced them. Lane changing, passing, artificial intelligence in the form of a wandering jam car. Also, a kid could feel like a champion for an afternoon. They weren't just toys, they were tiny, brilliant machines, miniature legends. And if you were lucky enough to have one, you already know. You never really forget that first race. If this brought back a memory, tell me down in the comments, which set did you have? Aurora, Tyco, TCR? Hit subscribe for more rides down memory lane. This has been Back When. I'll see you next time.